Hey guys, Blue Jays Domain here, and it's no secret this has been a very slow offseason. Some could consider this one of the worst offseasons ever, but it doesn't compare to the worst offseason in recent memory. But before we get into that, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'm going to be doing a podcast throughout the MLB season, so check it out. The link to that channel is in the description. As well as I will be doing Monday night watch parties for when the Jays play in the regular season, so come by and just say hey, Okay, that's all. Now let's get back into the video. Some of you might know what offseason I'm referring to, others may not. One that comes to your mind very quickly will be the 2021-2022 offseason that saw a lockout, but that's not the one I'm talking about. That offseason was actually pretty action-packed, all things considered. I'm here to talk about the 2018-2019 offseason, the Bryce Harper, Manny Machado offseason. So, let's set the scene and bring out the biggest players. There's Manny Machado, who just came off a trip to the World Series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. There's an MVP and Rookie of the Year, also a Home Run Derby champion in Bryce Harper. There's a Cy Young winner in Dallas Keuchel. There's a very solid pitcher at the time in Patrick Corbin. I know, weird. And there's Craig Kimbrell, one of the best closers in the game. So, let's get into the moves. The first major move was on November 20th when the Yankees acquired James Paxton from the Mariners for Justice Sheffield, Eric Swanson, and Dom Thompson-Williams. At the time, Paxton was a very good pitcher, but he never really worked out in New York like some other pitchers. And well, for Swanson, he is now a reliever for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Sheffield and Thompson-Williams, who knows? No one really knows what happened to them. And then later that week in the offseason, the Braves would sign Josh Donaldson to a one-year prove-it deal after an injury-riddled season. That deal ended up working out pretty well for Donaldson. Then we kind of get into a hot streaks of moves being made here, back to back. Starting off on December 3rd, the Mets and Mariners made a trade that shocked the world. At the time, it was the Robinson Cano trade. Now, it's the Edwin Diaz trade. The Mets would acquire second baseman Robinson Cano and closing pitcher Edwin Diaz. In exchange, the M's got Jared Kelenic, Jay Bruce, Anthony Swarzak, Gerson Bautista, and Jared Dunn. The real piece of this deal is Edwin Diaz, who established himself as one of the best closers in the game. As for everyone else, well, Kelenic's in Atlanta now. Jay Bruce was Jay Bruce. Swarzak and Bautista and Dunn, I don't really know what happened to them. I think Dunn got them Luis Castillo. And Cano, well, he got suspended and then kind of disappeared. Then on December 4th, Patrick Corbin shocked everyone, and he signed with the Nationals. It was a 6-year, $140 million deal. A guy who was heavily pursued by the Yankees opted to go elsewhere in what was considered a surprise move. Now on December 5th, it's the Cardinals who acquire the services of Paul Goldschmidt from the Arizona Diamondbacks. The D-backs would receive infielder Andy Young, catcher Carson Kelly, pitcher Luke Weaver, and a 2019 competitive balance pick. Then December 11th, Andrew McCutchen signs a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Phillies. At the time, everyone assumed, well, that takes them out of any big move, right? Well, you're going to have to fast forward a month before the next big move happens. There's other little moves that happen, but they don't really mean anything, and they didn't really do much. So after fast forwarding about a month, the Yankees would sign DJ LeMahieu to a 2-year, $24 million deal. This at the time was a steal, and well, guess what? It ended up being a steal for the Yankees. It effectively did take him out of the Manny Machado sweepstakes, though, because LeMahieu was going to go play third base. And then, on January 24th, the Dodgers signed A.J. Pollock to a 4-year, $60 million deal, which effectively took them out of the Bryce Harper sweepstakes. Now, you got the two biggest players on the market, and well, their selection is starting to slim out. Now we're into February, and the Marlins are doing what they do best, and that's trade good players for bad prospects in a future that never, ever arrives. This time, it's the Phillies who reap the benefits as they snag JT Realmuto from the Marlins for catcher Jorge Alfaro and minor league pitcher Sixto Sanchez and Will Stewart, plus $250,000 in international bonus money. Yeah, in the end, that's pretty underwhelming. Alfaro didn't turn into anything. Will Stewart didn't turn into anything. Sixto Sanchez is still trying to pitch, but he's like doing his best Bartolo Colon impression, and I don't know where that money went to. And now, you're on February 19th. Manny Machado has made his decision. Now everyone thinks, oh, the Yankees, the White Sox. It was the Padres. The Padres. Who won his services? What? At the time, the Padres were bad. Like, so bad. They had landed Hosmer a couple off seasons ago. They had this great young player named Fernando Tatis Jr. that was going to come up and play shortstop for a bit. And this just kind of seemed like Machado assuring himself that he would never play in October again. But boy, were we wrong. This guy had the Yankees talking to him before he priced himself out of their contract negotiations, and to a point where they just said, "Nuh-uh, we're not doing it." Now he has a 10-year, $300 million deal. This is the first ever $300 million free agent contract given out in baseball history. So this was deal-breaking. But it left a sour taste in a certain agent's mouth, Scott Boras, who wanted to beat this, and well, he did whatever he could to try and beat it. Now, obviously this deal worked out just fine for both Machado and the Padres. Actually, he's already got another extension, so like, great job for Machado. But it was definitely a shock when the news first hit, when it was like the San Diego Padres and Manny Machado. It was like, whoa, what are we doing here? But yeah, now we are finally on to the biggest and final move of the offseason. February 28th, 2 days from today. The biggest free agent on the market has signed, and it's Bryce Harper in a 13-year, $330 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. And right away, this kind of just felt like the right move. No, I feel bad because we kind of made fun of the Padres earlier, but this felt like the right move. It was here, or it was the Cubs, and Philly just felt right. You know, and it works out well. He's embraced that city great. And for the Phillies, it felt right pairing him with Kutch and Real Muto, who they both acquired in that offseason, and kind of right the ship and bring this team back to competitiveness. And hell, in his press conference, he even proved he can predict the future.
We want to bring a title back to DC. We want to bring a title back to DC.
Now, if you remember, we mentioned Kimbrel and Keuchel at the beginning, and they have yet to sign in this. And well, that's because they didn't sign until June. They both signed on June 7th. That's the third month into the season. The third month, and they're like, hey, yeah, no, actually, we do want to play baseball. That's nuts. That's disgusting. It should never happen. And guess what? They sucked. To no one's shock, they sucked. Because guess what? When your spring training is everyone's all-star break, you're going to suck. So yeah, the offseason sucked. The players who signed after the season started sucked. So, message to teams, if you're going to go out and get someone, do it before the season starts. While the offseason we're currently in has been a bad one, it will never, ever reach the level of this where basically nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. Like, that's just what it was. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, comment what you thought of the video, share this with your friends or family if they like baseball or the Blue Jays. This is the place to be. And if you are brand new, be sure to subscribe. Peace out. Bye.